My name's Mr. Robert Makoha Wangoho. I'm the official elected president bunge la mwananchi Nakuru. This afternoon, I appreciate you for having me to comment on a number of issues, detailing from the security of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, the issue of our president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, heading to a country called Comoros, a time Kenya is in shackles. And finally, the next show course of the demonstrations, picketing or maandamano that we are anticipating to have on next week, Wednesday. Allow me to begin by stating categorically that Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is a man who is outstanding in the Kenyan politics because he is believed to be the man who has really fought for democracy of this country. And anything he does is always to fight for the people. He has come out several times to declare that he never goes to the streets to disturb the well-being of the people because after all he's rich. But he goes out there to make sure that the livelihoods of the people of Kenya at least comes to an expected standard of living. Now, picketing and demonstration or protests is stipulated in our Kenyan Constitution, Article 37. And every Kenyan, including President Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, are entitled to those freedoms to picket and demonstrate anytime they feel like something is not going on as it is supposed to be in the Constitution of Kenya. Therefore, it is unfortunate that at this era, at this century, we still have a government regime that can make sure it brutalizes a citizen of Kenya who goes to the streets not to interrupt the business of the day, but to hold what we refer to it as peaceful demonstrations. Raila Amolo Odinga ni kiongozi ambaye amepigania demokrasia ya Kenya. Mpaka leo hii akisimama kuongea utaona machozi inatoka kwa macho yake. This man was tortured. This man was humiliated. This man was given heinous punishments that no human being should be given. And right now, when I see him being tear gassed, when I see him being washed by hot water, using military equipment, when I see his car being vandalized by the bullets, I really sympathize with Africa, because at this age, Africa should have grown. Africa should be doing the things that the Scandinavian countries have been doing for a very long period of time now. Now, where William Ruto, you are suspicious. I suspect you. You are the first victim or culprit whom we are going to suspect, because when you heard that we are going to hold demonstrations that were peaceful to fight for the high cost of living in Kenya, to fight for impunity, to fight for you passing heinous bills that have overburdened the citizens of Kenya, to fight for the IEBC, which has brought about what we call political injustices in Kenya. You boarded a plane and left for Comoros. Why did you leave your country burning? Then you ran to Comoros. We have been giving you time to engage your elder brother Raila Amolo Odinga, who is also your teacher in politics of Kenya. Raila Odinga nurtured you, and were it not for him, you may not have been the president of Kenya as we speak today. Now, you instructed your deputy You gave him stand instructions that the moment you leave, you actually instruct him to assassinate one man called Raila Amolo Odinga. You forget so fast that in the year 2007 we had election violence that actually left about 500 people dead in Kenya. And today you still have the guards to board a plane to Comoros, leaving the country in chaos. Then you instruct your second in command to shoot and kill Raila Amolo Odinga. Mimi nasema hivi, Rwandan genocide started the way these things are going on right now in Kenya. In Rwanda, if you may allow me to give you a very brief history, the opposition and the government were not in agreement. And when the president by then was being flown in a plane, the opposition side shot that plane and he was definitely killed. What followed there, my friend, is not something you can admire to listen to. From children to women, from old-aged people to young men, all of them were killed brutally by their opponents. For those who are beginners to listen to this story, the war was between two tribes of Rwanda, and that was between Hutu and Tutsi. So many lives were lost. So many people were displaced. The economy flopped, and you were nowhere to operate as a citizen. Initially, in 1994, Rwanda had a very huge population, more than Kenya and many African countries. But remember, all the people were swept by that tsunami of violence and ethnic war, to an extent that the country almost remained with only 300 people. Now, if today Kenya has 47 million people, and by that time I'm telling you that Rwanda had a huge population more than Kenya, you can imagine how many lives were lost. Today, if you went to Rwanda, capital Kigali, there is a mausoleum that is set aside, and the remains of the people who were killed during that war are reserved there. It is like a national archive to remind the people, to serve as a learning library to those nations who have not opened their eyes, Kenya being the first one. Sasa wewe William Ruto, you need to ask for a copy of a book called Rwandan Genocide. It was written by a man called Philip Coleridge. In that book, they articulate right from the cause that was noted on the first day the conflict started, and when the solution was to be offered, the one who was the sitting president ignored. Wewe Raila Odinga amekupea 3 times uholi kiti inaitwa bipartisan talks. He has presented his members. Wewe unafika huko unachukua watu kama Keinani unawaweka. Keinani is in azimio la umoja. He can never be part and parcel of the Kenya Kwanza regime. Unaharibu hiyo round ya kwanza. Round ya pili, you pretend to have changed the team members. Ukacoach Keinani akatuambia ati amejiondoa, ati amerudi upande wa azimio, ati sasa maongezi yaendelee. My question is, why was Keinani on your side in the first place? Yet he is an elected member of parliament on azimio la umoja ticket. Ulikuwa unatupima akili ama why was he there? You flopped the second bipartisan arrangement again. And you said that the opposition side will do nothing. 3 days ago, when Mzee declared that now we shall have maandamano rally arrangement on Saba Day, you send your small boys. These small boys wameelektiwa mara ya kwanza, wanasumbua sisi sana. Unatuma hao vijana ati wanatuambia ati tunaomba wakuje tena mazungumzo. Who do you think we are? People are very busy out there. with this poor economy created by your own government. Hii ni mchezo ya watoto wewe unataka kufanisha Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Maongezi imeshindikana mara mbili. Na wewe ulikuwa unaambiwa mara ya kwanza engage Raila Odinga at a personal level. Mkunywe chai muongee. Yeye akakwambia hataki handshake ya kumnunua. Wewe ulikuwa unasema mzee anataka handshake. Raila has come out 4 times to say that he is not after the handshake. Sasa wewe saa hizi akianzisha maandamano anaenda kwa streets na wewe unaanza kushuti gari ya Raila Odinga. Why do you want to kill this old man? Why don't you give the old man time to retire peacefully? After all, this man is respected because of his continuous fight for the common man. Na mimi nakwambia mheshimiwa Raila Ruto, namtaja Raila kwa sababu anafanya mazuri mpaka nasahau. Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, you want to place this country in a state whereby you will regret the rest of your life. Sisi kama supporters, mimi kama rais wa bunge la mwananchi Nakuru nakupea warning hii, and you take it seriously. I'm not going to sit back and relax. Ati wewe unahumiliate huyu mzee mpaka unashuti gari yake. Wewe ulikuwa huko Kisumu, ukaambiwa usiende Kondele, ukalazimisha kwenda Kondele. Vijana wakarusha tu jiwe moja ikapiga gari. Ulilia like a small boy. I personally named you a crying baby. Now, what you are instructing the deputy to instruct the police agencies to do to your brother is uncalled for. I repeat this. Siku yenye risasi itakaribia nywele ya Raila Amolo Odinga hivi, haitaguza hata mwili ama kichwa. Na kuambia hii Kenya itachomeka kutoka Nakuru, iende Nyanza, iende Coast, iende Somalia huko hivyo kwa boda, irudi hivi, iende Kilifi, iende Ukambani. Utajaribu kuzima huo moto lakini it will be too late, Mr. William Ruto. Because what you are looking for, you will pay 5 times the price of what you have paid if you had tea in quotes, with your brother Raila Amolo Odinga. Kwani utajiri yenye Raila ako nayo, wewe unaona ati anataka umnunue kwa mara nyingine? Huyu mzee amezeeka, hata sidhani kama anataka ati uongozi. Lakini Raila Amolo Odinga wants to leave a good legacy as a leader who was once an opposition man for almost 5 times. He wants to leave a legacy yenye itaonyesha kwamba alipigania Wakenya na Wakenya wakakuwa na maisha mzuri. Raila Odinga alipigania multipartyism in Kenya, ndio tukakuwa na vyama mingi, tukatoka kwa ujinga yenye President Moi alikuwa analeta ya KANU. Na ndio maana mtu kama wewe haujaelektiwa kwa KANU, umekuwa na chama kama URP, umekuwa na chama kama UDA, umekuwa na chama kama Jubilee. It is because of the effort that was inflicted by one Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And today you can instruct the troops to shoot at the man directly. Do you value property more than life of a human being? And anytime you see Kenyans coming out in large numbers, always come to your realization that these people are tired. Mimi sijawahi ona maandamano Kisii County, but for the first time in the history of Kenya, I saw Kisii County coming out in large numbers. Sasa wacha nikuambie, mimi kama rais wa bunge la mwananchi Nakuru, utaona chenye kitafanyika Nakuru town. No destruction of property will be done, but you will see the huge crowd that I am going to pull as the president of bunge la mwananchi Nakuru. You are shameless leaders. You cannot promise people when you are delivering your ideologies and manifestos that you are going to employ the youth. 3 weeks ago, when our brothers and sisters were graduating, deputy wako ati anaambia vijana ati mumegraduate lakini hamtapata kazi. Shame on you, Rigathi Gachagua. Those people are entitled to employment after completion of their studies. Na ndio maana tunaona Ruto alianza na kuondoa HELB. Mimi am a product of Higher Education Loans Board, na hiyo board imeniwezesha nikasoma degree 2. I'm a lawyer professionally. I was initially a teacher. Na wewe unakuja unaondoa HELB na unasema funding haitafanyika kwa private universities. Some of us here in Kenya, some of your cabinet might be a product of private universities. So you cut down the funding of the private universities because we understand what you are doing. You are trying to kill the private sectors of the universities of Kenya. Hiyo pia sasa ni kitu yenye unaweza fanya kwa giza, and that is wrong. Now umemanage kukill hizo universities. Saa hizi deputy anakuja nyinyi anasema watu wa graduate lakini hakuna kazi. Ulikuwa unatuambia story ya wheelbarrow, kumbe ulikuwa unamaanisha ati upitishe finance bill, graduate mwenye ako na degree na masters akuja bebe wheelbarrow na materials za ujenzi. Where on earth have we ever seen a digital president the way you are calling yourself behaving in such a manner?